Welcome to Socket Plug Into You. Today, I'd like to talk to you about something that happens all the time if you are paying attention. It's called coincidences or synchronicities. I knew I'd mess that word up. And I had something happen in the last couple of weeks where there were so many coincidences that happened because of it. There's just no way that there isn't something bigger going on. I will leave that bigger going on to be determined by what you believe that to be. But I believe that it is when you're on the right path, when you are taking the right steps, when you are plugging into you, when you are just going in the right direction. Things seem to be a little easier than when you're trying to push against something that isn't meant for you. So a couple of weeks ago, I got an email from the chairman of the board of directors for the Naperville Area Chamber of Commerce. I've been on the board. I was chairman of the board a couple of years ago, and he said that he had a local chiropractor that was moving to the West Coast, looking for a practice for their patients to have the continuation of care that they were hoping for. They wanted a warm practice and a happy practice and practice that really paid attention to their patients. And so this person at the chamber reached out to me and said, hey, are you interested in a conversation? While I wasn't looking to purchase a practice or take on another person's practice, I'm always open to a good conversation and meeting great people. So he connected me to the Dr. Kim Traeger, and her partner, Candace Lawrence. They've been in practice in the Naperville area for 25 years and just have this phenomenal, wonderful practice. Anyway, Kim and I take a phone call and we were talking for like a half an hour, and it's super clear that she and I could talk for 4 days straight. We had to like cut ourselves off. We're like, we both have to go. We should have allowed more time. And then met her in person, and she's just one of those people you just want to hug as soon as you meet. And I'm a hugger. So it was a great connection. I went to her practice. We talked about a little bit about the types of techniques that she uses that is certainly different than my techniques, but nothing that I couldn't learn. And the first coincidence is that we have a new doctor starting at Advanced Health of Naperville. Her name is Dr. Christine Wilkinson. She filled in for Dr. Claire on maternity leave, and Dr. Claire, after having the baby, is leaving the practice because she needs to be closer to her parents because her parents are watching her little boy. So Christine filled in for her. She did a great job. She's been a chiropractor for 9 years. She has a wealth of experience. She's worked for a number of different chiropractors, so she's been able to see a lot of different practice management styles and how different practices were run. Anyway, she is starting to come back full-time tomorrow. And Dr. Christine happens to have trained with someone that Kim knows from the training that she has. And while Dr. Christine is still learning some of the techniques that Kim does, she's very aware of it and has worked in a practice that did something like almost exactly similar. So that's going to be an awesome way for us to continue that patient care for Dr. Kim with someone that already knows something about it. So that was kind of the first thing, like, wow, it's really cool. Like when we were there training with her, me and Dr. Christine, and Dr. Christine was like, do you happen to know this woman? And she pulls up her picture, and Dr. Kim's like, yeah, I trained with her years ago. And they live down in Nashville or something like that. So anyway, that was the first thing that happened. The second thing that happened was I got an email from a director of a large physical therapy company in the area. They have had a kind of a referral relationship with Dr. Kim for years and years and years. And Dr. Kim reached out to them and said, hey, Dr. Cathy and her practice are going to be taking over all my patients. And so this woman reached out to me, and it happens to be the physical therapy clinic that both me and Jason have gone to for the last year and a half with our various tears and things like that. And the lead clinic director is both Jason and my actual physical therapist. So in about 2 weeks, we have a meeting set up, a virtual meeting set up with their marketing director, their director of operations, and then I think 4 or 5 local clinic directors for them to learn a little bit about what we do, the cranial work we do, the vestibular work we do, the pediatric work we do, and for us to learn about them. While we do some formats of physical therapy, there are so many times that we need to refer out to a larger physical therapy practice when we just can't take care of certain needs. And for them, they like to be able to refer to a chiropractor. So it's just this great symbiotic relationship. And I just thought it was super funny and a coincidence that it happens to be the physical therapist that Jason and I have been using for the last year and a half. The third thing that has a little backstory, I have a massage therapist that used to work for me for years and years and years. Fortunately, she got into a really serious car accident in 2015, and she had been unable to work for a couple of years. About a year ago, she got relicensed, and she specializes in something called manual lymphatic drainage. This is useful for anyone that wants their lymphatic system, which actually carries waste out of our bodies and helps keep our immunity high and our body functioning properly. But it's also pre and post surgery, whether you had a knee replacement or even cosmetic surgery. And this is really Jen's passion. She just loves doing this type of work. And so she called me and said, hey, I'm relicensed. I don't know if you happen to have any availability for me to come back and work at the practice. And I have been looking for a massage therapist for a couple of months and not been able to find someone. So Jen comes back and we're building this new manual lymphatic drainage component of Advanced Health. So that's one part of it. I had a friend a couple weeks ago refer me to a woman who runs Illinois Thermography. So this is a company where they come to you, you just need a room for them to use, and they do breast thermography, whole body thermography, really is a marker to see how much inflammation is in the body, as well as a screening for cancer. And so I'd always considered doing it. I knew I wanted to have it done for myself. And so my friend tells me about this. So I reach out to the owner and we start talking, and she's like, how about I come to your practice and we can chat a little bit, and I'll bring some of my material and we'll see if we can set up your practice as one of our sites. Well, apparently Dr. Kim already was one of those sites, contacts the woman and refers her to me and said, I'm already meeting with her, because that they're losing a Naperville site. So now my practice is going to take over Dr. Kim's practice in that functionality. And so as I'm talking to this woman who came in that runs this thermography company, I start talking about lymphatic drainage. And she says that she's actually trained in it, but she doesn't currently practice it because she's so busy doing thermography, but she really likes to refer to people that do it. And I say, well, we actually have someone in our practice now. So we discussed maybe doing a little bit of, I can do a little advertising for her on the branch for her services around all of Chicagoland and the western suburbs. And then we can put together something that she can send out to her patient base that lets them know that Jen is at Advanced Health able to do this lymphatic drainage massage. So it was like, just again, another thing that every time these things have happened, this has all happened about 2-week period of time. It's like, oh, of course they were at Dr. Kim's office. Of course it's the same physical therapist. Of course Dr. Christine knows someone that Dr. Kim does, and they both trained, at the same place. And so another thing that happened was Dr. Kim introduced us to this woman. And as we're getting to know her, we realized that she owns a jewelry store. And Jason, his mom passed away about a year and a half ago. And his mom was so into rocks and minerals and jewels and stones, and she made jewelry. She was a silversmith. And so when his mom passed away, he was passed down tubs and bins of this stuff. And as he's been going through it, he has some things that we need to have a jeweler take a look at. So 3 days before we get introduced to this woman that owns a jewelry store, Jason says to me, the next part of my kind of looking into all the stuff we have, and can we sell it, or, can we donate it somewhere? What are we doing with all of this stuff? He said, I really need to find a jeweler so that I can have someone take a look at the gems that we have, because I just don't know how to price them or what they even are. And so then when I told him, I'm like, Dr. Kim introduced me to this woman. She happens to own a jewelry store. We were like, of course she does. Of course she does. And the last part of this story was Dr. Kim and Candace have their 2 little grandsons, and they just got like super into rocks and minerals and everything like that. And so yesterday we had them over to our house to look at some of the stuff we had, and they love the white. Jason has some big white quartz crystals, and all of these like geodes and rocks, and I mean, just amazing amount of stuff. And so he was able to put together a little bit of things for their grandchildren to be able to enjoy. And then they left with a gift from us that was from Jason's mom, of this huge white quartz crystal. I think it's called a crystal, or mineral or rock. I'm still learning. But it has been a journey and a half. And one of the things I know is we were meant to meet these people. They are awesome. They are so kind and warm. And excuse me, like I said, when you see them, you just want to hug them. They're just awesome. And so I feel as if all these things and all these stars aligning are because this was just meant to be. They were meant to meet us. We were meant to meet them. And now we're looking forward to a lifetime of friendship, even though they're going to be living in Seattle. So if you live anywhere near Seattle, look up Dr. Kim Traeger and Candace Lawrence, because they are going to be your go-to people for natural health, chiropractic, muscle testing, allergy testing, you name it, they do it. They're also going to be doing things online, nutritional testing and things like that. So I'm just so thankful to have met them and feel so blessed that everything that's happened from this new connection just makes me feel like we're right on the right path for the practice, and that we're going in the right direction, we're making the right decisions, and that the net effect is that more and more patients are going to be able to be taken care of in this wonderful way. And sometimes that's just more than a coincidence. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on my website, simplysocket.com. My email address is Cathy@simplysocket.com. And then you can find me on every social media channel under Simply Socket. Have a great day.